Baker Mayfield was not happy that the game ended that way, and the Browns had a chance to knock the Ravens out. They were watching the game in Pittsburgh like it was a drive-in movie. It was great.
It really
what a
was.
scene that was as it all played out in real time. But Baker Mayfield had no interest in stopping and shaking hands, and it wasn't. Look, and this is part of what he'll learn through maturity. You have to slow down in those moments, accept the fact that you lost the game. You go shake the hand of the opposing quarterback.
Right.
Yeah, I don't think Lamar Jackson was happy about that, but Lamar Jackson was very happy that the Ravens won the game and they advanced to the postseason this Sunday against the Chargers.
They met up after the game again and gave another hug and had a talk too. So,
okay. Well, don't rain on my narrative with facts.
Exactly right. How dare I do that and set that straight? But I think one thing it does do, just again, is shows the respect that other teams and other players have for Baker Mayfield. Once again, just even though he threw 3 interceptions yesterday, he had moments just like Lamar Jackson did, and we'll talk about the Ravens in a second, where we just went, wow. I mean, Baker Mayfield every week he has delivered. He's done more than that, and Cleveland should just be pumped up because he has got superstar written all over him.
Yeah, and I think he's the offensive rookie of the year. I think you and I have argued about that from time to time. You think it should be Saquon Barkley, but look at the impact that Baker Mayfield has had on the Browns. Look at where the Browns were at 0-16 last year, 1-15 the year before that.
Yes.
He has changed everything, and I think it's even more significant when you consider the 20 years of futility that they've had at the quarterback position, the revolving door, that jersey with all the names stretching down to the floor, and now it's going to be Mayfield. Barring injury, it's going to be Mayfield for the next 15 to 18 years. And they're in position to go out and hire a great coach. They're in position to make things happen. They've got games next year we're going to want to see in prime time. Look, I want the Browns to be in the playoffs just because I want to continue to watch him play.
Yeah, I know. I understand that. That's the way he is. That's the kind of game he has. That's why we've talked about him being a smaller Brett Favre or all those type of things, because he's a gunslinger. He's got tremendous self-confidence, and you could tell that he's got leadership skills.
All right, let's get to the teams that matter. Apparently the Browns don't. The Ravens are in the postseason. And look, the Ravens and Chargers, if you're the Patriots, if you're the Chiefs, if you're any other team in the AFC field, you are very happy that these two are playing each other, because these are the two you don't want to see.
You're right about that.
The worst-case scenario would have been Ravens, Colts, Texans, Chargers. Then you got to worry about Ravens and Chargers advancing to the divisional round. But look out. If the Texans hold serve at home against the Colts, which is no guarantee, the Patriots get the easy draw relative to what the Chiefs are going to face. The Chiefs are going to face the winner of Ravens Chargers in Kansas City. We'll be there for that one. Divisional round coming up in a couple of Saturdays. But with the Ravens winning, with the Colts beating the Titans last night, we have the playoff picture set in the AFC. But I hadn't seen it and really paid attention to it that stark of a term.
You're right.
Ravens, Chargers, it's very good for the Patriots that they're not in that bracket unless there's an upset. If the Colts beat the Texans, then the Patriots get the winner of that game.
Which we know that can happen. So, that's what I mean. The Colts, hey, the one thing that we've learned watching Sunday Night Football last night, they have things that are elite about their football team. The first thing is their offensive line, right? I mean, we talk about that on a weekly basis, how they can dominate a game, and they did that again last night. They ended up winning by a wide margin, but really were dominating throughout, kind of let the Tennessee Titans crawl back into the game, but that then coupled with Andrew Luck and a defense that's kind of opportunistic, and it doesn't hurt to have Blaine Gabbert out there, but I still look at the Colts as dangerous, certainly. And then you talk about the Ravens. I mean, what we're seeing from the Ravens right now, too, just getting back to that, this is groundbreaking stuff. We're watching like the 1970 Nebraska-Oklahoma team in the NFL. It's like the NFL version of the wishbone, what they're doing right now. And I think it is refreshing to see. It was crazy to see Cleveland kind of struggle with some of those concepts in the run game yesterday. But the AFC, I think, it's amazing how wide open it is once again. And I really look at all 6 teams legitimately and go, we can make a case for any of them to go to the Super Bowl and make it there according to matchups, kind of like what you're saying.
Peter King points out in Football Morning in America that in the 7 games quarterbacked by Lamar Jackson, the Ravens have rushed for 267 yards, 242, 207, 194, 242, 159, and 296. On Sunday, Jackson had 90 on 20 carries and 2 touchdowns. Would have had a third. Coaching point for Lamar Jackson and any other quarterback. If you're going to go up and over Drew Brees style, don't pull the ball back. Keep going forward. Because the moment you kiss the front of the goal line, the play's over. It doesn't matter if the ball comes out.
Right.
You don't have to get cute with it and try to yo-yo it back.
Yeah.
Because he stopped short.
He yo-yoed and never got it there.
He stopped short, and he pulled it back, and then it should have been a touchdown the other way for the Browns, which could have changed everything.
You look good in your Vikings
I feel good.
You sweater doing that little ball dive there, too.
Well, that's something we won't be seeing in anyone wearing purple this year unless it's Lamar Jackson.
Unless it's Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, different kind of purple altogether.
But you're right. That was a chance.
Here's the thing.
Right.
Is it sustainable?
Right.
Is what they're doing sustainable? If Lamar Jackson gets hurt, you're going to have to load up your depth chart with guys who can run that offense. You can't have a Joe Flacco. You got to have RG3. You got to have another guy behind him. And you just have to commit to it all in, because injuries are the thing that can derail this approach.
I agree with that. I think that's, yes, for the best thing for your team as far as going forward and having, fail-safe plans for the future. Yeah, you need quarterbacks with a similar skill set to Lamar Jackson. I do think he can handle it. Yes, he takes a few big hits every game, but it's not – I don't get concerned with it overall. As a whole, I still go, that's a good job, just kind of getting out of the squareness of that shot or sliding to where they just got an edge of them. But, yes, it's living dangerously, but either way, the Ravens have found a formula that fits them. And I think the guy that, first of all, we have to give credit to is Greg Roman there. That's the one guy, when I watch film of them on a weekly basis, that always pops into my head. Greg Roman, the architect of the Colin Kaepernick offense out in San Francisco, his ability to add these type of plays in the backfield with the misdirection and pulling guards and all these read option type of wrinkles they have, that is because of him and his ability to work with Marty Mornhinweg, and that's what I think is awesome about the Ravens too.
And I think that the earliest indications that the Ravens were thinking about moving in this direction came in July of 2017 when they were linked to Colin Kaepernick.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that?
Yes.
And they backed off quickly,
right?
But they were linked to him, and then within a year after that, they draft Lamar Jackson in the first round. They bring in RG3. They brought RG3 in, I think, just before that. But they are embracing this alternative offense. And as long as you're the only team in the league doing it, maybe it works.
Sure.
If it proliferates, then you have a problem. It's almost like there was a time when not many teams were doing the 3-4 defense. So not every team could deal with it because you don't see it very often. And Tony Dungy made a great point last night. The Chargers are seeing this again.
Yes.
It was just 9 days ago that they faced it, and now they're going to face it again in 6 days. And will you be better at stopping it the second time around?
Yeah, it will be an advantage for the Chargers in that aspect to just go, okay, this is what they did to us. The players will be better prepared as far as, little keys into stopping the run game and all the, the window dressing they do behind the line of scrimmage. I'll say this, though. The Ravens will also go, oh, this is what they did, and we can adjust our run game off of that. It's going to be one of the fascinating matchups of the weekend. Those are two of the top teams in the AFC playing in the wild card round. That's where it's going to be a lot of fun.
And again, the Patriots, assuming that the Texans beat the Colts, the Patriots get lucky, because if the Colts win, they go to Kansas City. If the Texans win, the Chiefs get the winner of that Ravens-Chargers game, and they're going to be in trouble.
It's a horrible matchup, in my opinion, for the Houston Texans. This would be one of those where I'd go for Houston. I'd go, man, this is the one team I don't think they wanted to see because their D-line gets muted a little bit in this matchup, right? The greatness of the Texans is that front four, they can make a mess of the game, and I can tell you one offensive line that's not going to let that front four make a mess of the game is the Indianapolis Colts, and that's the great evening, what do I want to say?
Equalizer?
Yeah, thank you. You are the man, Stats. Good morning to you and Happy New Year, sire. How are you?
What's up?
How are you?
All right, now we're done with you, Stats. Back to the games. And I hadn't really thought of this
matchup there.
Just because the Colts winning that game would allow the Chiefs to avoid the winner of Ravens-Chargers, that's no picnic for the Colts and Chiefs if that's the team that Kansas City is welcoming to Arrowhead Stadium. I mean, what was it, 38-10 in the third quarter a few years ago, and the Colts came back and beat the Chiefs. Chiefs have not won a playoff game at home since Joe Montana was the quarterback, and that narrative is going to take root over the next 12 days before they play on that Saturday. And look, congratulations, Chiefs. You're the top seed.
Congratulations, Chiefs, but Mike Florio is going to doubt you every second until you actually win a home playoff game, and we're never going to hear the end of it.
Is there anything wrong with that?
No, there's not.
Other than the fact that we're going to be at Arrowhead Stadium for that game, maybe I should start sucking up.
Yeah, you should. And it's our buddies there. You know, it's a different year because our homie, Patrick Mahomey,
MVP.
is there.
I agree with you now. Look,
okay,
MVP.
You're
It's not even split. MVP.
Yeah, I get you. I think he did. I think he cemented that yesterday. But, yeah, it's a weird year in the AFC because there is no true dominant team. Every team has flaws. Every team has some great strengths on their team in some area, and it's as wide open as I can ever remember. If you had to pick a team in the AFC right now, who would you go
Patriots.
with? You'd go Patriots?
Yep, just because of the playoff experience.
Yeah, I know. It's
everything
tough.
else is and there was a time yesterday during the Patriots-Jets game where Tom Brady was looking like Tom Brady.
Yep.
Rob Gronkowski was looking like Rob Gronkowski. It's like, they set us up.
Right.
Not that they did it deliberately, but they had that period of time. We're always probing for when the Patriots are finally going to fall apart, and we thought it was happening, and the Patriots are still the Patriots, and I think that's the team. Assuming, look, even if the Chiefs hold serve in the divisional round and the Patriots have to go there, I think
there's not going to be fear.
They're not, and they have experience, and they're not going to freak out, and they're going to deliver. And I think it's going to be right now. I'd have to say Patriots Saints would be the two teams that I think
you'd go with. Okay,
Super Bowl. One team that won't make it to the Super Bowl because they're not making it to the playoffs.
Minnesota.
$84 million investment in Kirk Cousins. The Vikings, they blow it. We'll break that down. And also what got the Eagles. Will you stop it?
Handsome in your sweater
what the
today.
Eagles did to get in.
Such
We'll be back with more
Mike
PFT
Florio.
Live right after this.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.